happy Youth Day to you.
Happy Youth Day.
Yeah, so maybe for people who are locked on right now, tell us about yourself, your name, your introduction, first things first.
Okay, my name's Tuyu Enes Pina.
Yeah.
I'm a founder of Youths Against Early Marriages of the organization. We're running an organization. So mostly in this organization, the major things that we look up is the Youth Against Early Marriage is an organization formed to bring sensitization to the society about the dangerous effects that early marriage can cause on society. It speaks out on the vulnerability of young girls with an age group of 12 to 18 who are or might be affected by such cases by doing so via social media platform and creative activities such as drama, poetry, songs, etc.
So today, which brings me to the point, today we're celebrating youth, and you are also, your target is basically about youth.
Yes.
Tell us what made you to start up this organization, and also how has it been so far?
Okay, mostly the organization is the major reason why we came up with this organization is because we want to produce leaders in the society who are able to produce young girls who are disciplined and reliant to voice out challenge what their fellow girls are facing due to being victim of early marriages. And then at the end of the day, we thought, okay, if we engage girls in the various police and youth programs that affects their lives, keeping girls in school is the key to ending early marriage in Zambia and across Africa. Young girls are directly affected by the devastating effects of early marriages, causing them to assume adult responsibility, which that at particular moments they are not ready to handle. This leaves their healthy education and safety at stake. Yes, another one, we looked at what happens to their financial ability. So we wanted to, in most cases, their financial ability is added to the value to the added value to the society is threatened. As an organization, we believe that the engagement of young people in the fight against early marriage can break the generation cycle of early marriages, and that young people can help to achieve results at a very large scale. The involvement of young people now must be a part of an effective strategy for curbing early marriages with the vast creativity of young people. They can help early marriages, they can help fight early marriages through creative sensitization in arts and songs. We need girls, not brides. Yes.
Okay, so maybe someone might ask this question. I know your target is youths right now, and youths are more into maybe there's so much that is happening right now, and some youths are engaging themselves in bad activities right there. How do you get youths to join the organization, and also what are you trying to achieve at the end of the day?
Okay, the vision of the organization is to combat early marriage to zero tolerance by the year 2030. So one of the goals that we looked at is to promote youth activism. We have found everywhere those who want to participate being as peer educators, we invite them. And then another one is to promote youths who can speak against early marriage, and also to produce young youths who can participate in policy making. By doing so, we came up with the topic of the day, which we want to discuss today. Combating early marriages and teenage pregnancies. Yes. So as a youth, what is a teenage pregnancy? So those are the questions that you need to ask. Teenage pregnancy mostly occurs before a pregnancy that occurs before the age of 20. That is teenage pregnancy. So if you look at this period, beside physical and sexual maturation, there are several key developments take place, such as developments towards social and independence, development of abstract reasoning, because they're young, they don't reason, and acquisition of skills among youths and others. So if a girl becomes pregnant during this period or this phase, most of them, their developments that takes place during this phase they're affected negatively. They're affected because such as they're unable to handle the adult responsibility. They're young. And then you need to look at the factors that makes these young ones into becoming mothers at a tender age. One of it is lack of access to appropriate sexual and reproduction health information and services. This is due to limited health facilities and manpower in the health sector to cater the growing youth population. We are a lot as youths, we are a lot compared to our elders.
True that.
Yes. And then one other thing is poverty. This leads girls to offer sex in exchange for money, goods and services. In rural areas, due to high levels of poverty, parents end up marrying off their teenage girls, and this leads to increasing number of both the teenage pregnancy and the child marriage. Then we need to look at another point, which is social and cultural determinants such as gender equality. Mostly this one, females are being perceived as the weaker sex. Child marriage and peer pressure. One reason why child marriage is highly in rural areas can be due to cultural beliefs. The females are weaker sex and they need to be in the kitchen, but that shouldn't be the case. This only favors males who say only boys are sent to school. What of a girl child? Because there's an African proverb which says, if you educate a man, if you educate a boy, you educate a man. If you educate a girl, you educate the nation. This helps us to fight early marriages and teenage pregnancies, because the girl will understand to say, I wouldn't want my family to go through. So it's going to bring economical independence to them. Even it's not only the family who's going to really going to benefit, but even the community, the nation will also benefit from it. And then we have also lack of information on education, sex and sexuality. This information has to, once the information is distributed on the sexual and sexuality, it helps us fight teenage pregnancy. But the problem is that there's lack of information and education with people regards to sex. Lack of opportunity for adolescents is particularly for those living in rural areas, such as boarding schools, facilities, long distance to schools, health facilities, and entertainment. And then when you look at it, we'll also look at, we're going to look at these major things that causes them. But we want to know, how do we combat this early marriage, or the side effects of early marriage and child marriage? One of the side effects is it reduces girls' opportunity for education, because pregnant girls drop out of school and only few girls are allowed to go back after giving birth. Then this causes psychological stress in teenagers. This kind of stress may lead to unsafe abortions. Children born of teenagers are prone to greater risk of low birth weight, stunting, or infant mortality rates. If this is not worked on, it also exposes to STDs, those are sexually transmitted diseases such as syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV, and it's also cervical cancer. There's human papillomavirus. So how do we combat early marriages? How do we combat early marriages? So one of it is we appealing to the Ministry of Education, the education sector. At least in each and every school, they need to employ a guidance and counseling teacher at primary level, so that they can teach pupils matters related to sex. Also, would want to appeal to the Ministry of Health, scaling up training of peer educators and their deployment to adolescent-friendly space at health facilities and communities. As a youth today, I'll also be able to participate because I'm here to sensitize and spread the information among the youths to improve their health. One of it, they need to be combined sexual education. Like we need to provoke the government to put more syllabuses in our primary education, our education sector, so that they are able to talk about their sexual abilities, the implication that sex has. Yes. Another one is I'm encouraging youth participation in the development, implementation, monitoring, and evolution of comprehensive sexuality education program and friendly health services. Then, how do we eliminate child marriage and teenage pregnancies? We are appealing to the government strictly enact laws prohibiting child marriage, engage traditional leaders to eliminate negative cultural practices, provide empowerment to families, and conduct a sustained public media campaigns against child marriage, e.g. empowering the parents who are in rural areas, and also those parents that maybe, for instance, they're in rural areas, empower them with the family inputs. So as a youth against early marriage, is most of our program is we want, and we are inviting other people who can come on board so that we can fight early marriages and teenage pregnancy together. Yes. Okay,
so maybe that brings me back to since we're talking about youths and today is a youth day. There's so many youths out there who are going through depression.
Yes.
And they're doing certain stuff not because it's their fault, but because of what they're going through right there. What do you think is one way can someone overcome depression?
You know, okay, depression is something that deals with cognitive, the mindset of someone.
Yeah.
So it deals with the brain. There are a lot of risk factors. There are lots of factors behind depression. Others, maybe it can be due to a loss of a loved ones. Others can be, in our country, there's high rate of unemployment. There's no employment. So people get depressed according to the risk factor at that moment.
So how,
but at the end of the day, as a youth, first thing first, you need to love yourself. It's not about education that can empower you. You can also have a mind of an entrepreneur. You can set up a business. How? There are people, you can form a group, you come together as a group, you say, okay, we have this much, we have this much. And we are appealing also to the government to give youths empowerment to them. Once you empower them, they'll come up with a certain project. That project will also lessen the issue of sexual immoralities in the society, because what is making us not to be who we are, because we normally depend on what we've studied. So we depend on the white collar jobs. But at the end of the day, sometimes I can put my job aside, my degrees aside, and focus on what happens next. I have to hustle.
So do you feel sometimes there are more youths out there who have good papers, good grades at the end of the day, but they become more depressed because there's no employment?
Yes, because it's one of the major things that we youths are going through. You've gone to school, but there's no employment. It's not everyone who's an entrepreneur. Others go to school because they want to be somebody in life. There are other people who can go to school, but they don't do anything at the end of the day. So the best they can do is become an entrepreneur. You can't start a business. What you need is capital. At the end of the day, we are talking about money issue. Money, if there is an empowerment, it's going to help other people to be secured and will lessen the issue of depression. And then there are other people who are just depressed because they lost their loved ones. Those needs to go under counseling. Yes.
All right. So maybe the background story. How do you understand Youth Day, and how are you celebrating your Youth Day? How are we celebrating our Youth Day?
How? At the moment, as for me,
Yeah.
I'm here in the studio.
Yeah.
With sensitizing.
Yeah.
And I just pray this Youth Day is a new beginning of my year. I pray by the grace of God I'll have more and more opportunities to acquire, and I pray my message reaches everyone outside the country, within the country, and I pray I would have people on board to come so that we can fight early marriage and teenage pregnancy, and we can put our nation, our map, our flag on the map. So for me, I'm here celebrating Youth Day. I'll participate in the church programs. I think with me, that's awesome.
Okay, so before I let you go, don't you feel there's more sensitization that needs to be done in rural areas compared to urban areas? Because people in urban areas have more access to the information compared to people in the rural areas. Are you also targeting to people who are also living in rural areas?
That's one of our major targets. At the moment, we want to educate. We are forming a group. We are going to form a group called Just for Peer Educators. We'll be going in remote areas where information, because there are remote areas where they don't even know, they don't have access to radio like this.
True that.
So we want to go there, make an appointment with the chief, because the chief and the traditional rulers, that's why we're saying if traditional rulers can come on board, those are the people who can play that major role to help us. We'll go to them when we're given a day, we'll go there, sensitize, and our major stakeholder, parents. If parents can participate in this, together we can. But if parents are not willing to help, it's going to be difficult for us. But we're appealing to traditional rulers to say, once we come to your remote area, accommodate us so that we can have a talk one-on-one. We start with the parents. After parents, we can go to the girls. We need girls, not brides.
Yeah. All right. So maybe any message, encouragement to youths who are listening right now, advice that you would like to give them? For some, they feel like it's a day to celebrate in a different way by doing other stuff. I don't know, but how would you encourage them, or maybe any word of advice that you have to other youths, fellow youths who are listening right now on JoyFM?
Okay, for me, being a youth, being born in a family of discipline, I've been taught the importance of being a youth and not to be a failure. It's not just education that can make me a better person, but having an entrepreneur mind is something that I've always been wanting, and something that I do. I do business personally, and to me, this is one thing that has made me to be who I am today. I think one of it is they need to love themselves. They need to hustle. If they have papers, they are not in year to employment, they can put their papers aside and let's hustle together. One of it, and the other thing is, being a youth is today, like we are celebrating today.
Yeah.
Being a youth today is the beginning of another level. We need to be productive, and we need to be positive, and let's be youths that can bring change to the nation. Yes.
All right, so just in case someone's listening right now, before we let you go, give us on your social media handles, and also just in case someone would want to be part of your organization, how can they get in touch with you? Maybe on social media handles. Is there a page that they can follow you? And also, how accessible are you? If someone inboxes you and saying, I want to be part of this organization and I want to also help other fellow youths.
Okay, yeah, we have a page on Facebook which is called Youths Against Early Marriages and Teenage Pregnancies. Then we have our email address. At the moment, we're using a personal email address, which is 2ns90@gmail.com. Then the phone number is 0972 1995 34. 1972-1995-34. Our physical address, you can still contact us at Bread of Life International Center, the off Vubu Road, Emersdale. So my email, I'll repeat with my addresses. My Facebook page is, our Facebook page for the organization is Youths Against Early Marriages. The email is 2uns90@gmail, 2uns90@gmail.com. The phone number is 0972 1995 34. Then the physical address, you can still contact with us at Bread of Life International off Vubu Road, Emersdale.
All right, so it's great having you right here on JoyFM, and I'm pretty sure one of these fine days I'm going to be coming through.
All right.
Because I love the fact that what you're doing right now is what is affecting a lot of youths.
Yeah.
Some are dropping out of school because of early marriages without them knowing the information, the required information, and also which will keep other youths as well to be busy, because, only someone who is not accommodated with a lot of stuff to do, they get to do wrong things without knowing at the end of the day right there. Is there anything that you feel like you want to talk about before we get to let you go, that you left out? In a minute.
No, in a minute. Then we're almost done, because last week we had a very tremendous job. We were with Power FM, where we were talking about supporting girl child education for better tomorrow.
Okay.
It went well, so we thought, okay, if we support a girl child, what happens next?
Yeah.
So this is what I was saying. If you educate a man, educate a boy, educate a man, educate a lady, educate the whole nation. At the end of the day, we are trying to eradicate poverty levels in our country, because a woman is a source of inspiration to other people, and they understand their family ties more than a man. And then, if you look at our cycle, as at the moment, you look at the vice president. The vice president is a lady. I was very impressed. I was so inspired by the CV of Honorable Margaret Monakatwe. I was like, what? Then we youths we need to look at role models. We need to look at Professor Kandlua. She's a woman. So what can stop us youths by participating in such police programs, education programs? We need more doctors who are female. We need more engineers that are female. So by doing that, I think we need to be you and I need to be a productive youth. Yes.
It also starts with you women as well supporting each other.
Yes, yeah. That's my point. Exactly my point, yes.
All right, it was great having you right on JoyFM. Looking forward to have you again. Not just on Youth Day. Monica go feed a fee. All right, so pretty much exciting and very interesting right there. Make sure that you get to engage yourself in such programs right there. Still on the JoyFM Lunch.